Good morning. For just a second, can you remember a time when things did not turn out the way you assumed they would? And what was your response? When I was 8 years old, very excited, career week, excited. We had people coming in to talk to us about different career options. And at the end of the week, we would present what we wanted to do when we were grown. So we had to do a poster board and a 2-minute presentation. So I was very excited. I showed up Friday morning with my poster board. Good morning, I'm Jennise, and when I grow up, I'm going to be a truck driver. Well, Amanda, who sits in the back, said, you can't be a truck driver, that's for boys. Girls don't drive trucks. Tell her, Miss Amanda, she can't drive trucks. And in that moment, what I assumed died. My dream of being a truck driver died. So in 4th grade and 5th grade, I just made up something. I'll be a nurse, I'll be a teacher, but really in my heart, I wanted to be a truck driver. But that dream died. So today I want to talk to you about events that take place in our life, and it doesn't turn out the way that we assume. And I'm going to tell you about a 4-step system that I apply to my life to overcome life trials, how I navigate from wondering to wonderful. In 2009, I was what doctors considered a little bit too old to carry a baby, so I was pregnant, high-risk pregnancy. I was at the height of my career, in love with a great man, 13 weeks pregnant. 1:45 p.m. on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, got a phone call. He had just died in a car accident. So life happened to me in a major way. So what am I going to do? Normally, when we're faced with life trials, 1 or 2 things is going to happen. You're going to accept it and try your best to keep navigating your way through the best you know how, or you're going to fold and allow it to consume you, and you're going to wander around, lost with no direction. I picked option 2. I didn't feel like I had a reason to go on. Yes, I had this great career, but now it just didn't matter anymore. The only reason I had left to go on was my 13-year-old son, and now for this baby that I was carrying. But other than that, nothing. So we look at life events, and when things happen to us, we take these labels on, and it becomes who we are. So I took that life, this is going to be me. I'm going to be the pregnant widow for the next 6 months. And then after that, I'm just going to be the woman who lost her husband when she was pregnant. But everything else that had happened to me up to that point just didn't matter anymore. So I did that for 2 years. And I ran across a book called Letters to My Daughter from Maya Angelou. And in that book, she talked about events. And she stated, we can't control the events that happen to us in our life, but we can decide to not be reduced by it. And I thought, am I reducing myself to be the pregnant widow? And I looked back from 1980, when Amanda grabbed my dream of being a truck driver, to 2009, when I was struck with tragedy. And I realized I wasn't the divorcee. I wasn't the person who had been unemployed at one time. I wasn't the woman who had been lied to, cheated on. I wasn't the thyroid patient. I wasn't the single mom. And I certainly was not the pregnant widow or just a widow. But I was Jennise. And what was inside of me, the essence in me, was still there. But throughout life, I allowed these things to reduce me. So I decided, am I going to let this consume me, or am I going to take what happened to me and move forward in a better way? So the 4 steps, the first one was to define, and that's what I did. I defined who I am separate from these labels. The second step was to identify my SWOT. So everybody in here is probably familiar with the SWOT analysis. So I had to look at what are my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The strengths, those things that are going to pull me from wondering to wonderful. What are they? Perseverance, tenacity. What are the weaknesses? What are those things that can keep me stuck right here? Doubt, fear. What are the opportunities from this event? What can I do now? What have I learned? Who can I help? How can I change my life or somebody else's life? And then what are the threats? What are going to be those things, the barriers that can keep me from moving from wonderful to wondering to wonderful? The threats could be time, money, any of those things. So I did define who I am, and I did the analysis, the SWOT analysis. The third step was to establish a vision. And we've talked a lot about vision today. Now, Helen Keller, who we've all probably heard of, she was born blind. And she made a statement that the most pathetic person is a person with sight but no vision. So I thought, okay, great, I've identified all these great things about myself, but now I need a vision. What do I really want to do now that I've found myself? I woke up and found myself in another place. So I want to change my career. I didn't love what I was doing. I was good at it, but I didn't love it. So I wanted to change my career. My life had changed. I'm now a single mother with a 13-year-old and a newborn. That's a very different life. And then I want to be able to leave a legacy. I want his life to carry on through his daughter, and then I want to be able to leave a legacy for my kids as well. So I created a vision board to help me identify what I want. The most important thing I'll point out is Idris Elba, and I still don't have him yet, but it's on my board, so he's coming. But I'm waiting on him. But the most important thing is to be dazzling. And I looked at it and I broke it down into segments like my career, my lifestyle, like what I want to look like, do I want to travel? So this is my vision board. And every day I would take a look at this. And the fourth step in the phase was to transform. So I would take my vision board every morning, and now I would take to myself, what can I do every day to get myself closer and closer to the vision that I want for my life? And we look at the butterfly, and we are in awe of how beautiful the butterfly really is. But oftentimes we neglect the changes that the butterfly has to go through to possess that beauty. So the transformation stage for me was all about applying some action steps to reach that vision. So I want to leave you with a story today, a historical story about a group of people. They set out on a journey, should have taken 11 days. But just like you and I, they were faced with life trials. Famine, poverty, deception within their group, illnesses, sicknesses, disease. And that journey, 11 days, they had a leader. They had someone to help them. But they lost their vision, they were unmotivated, they were fearful, and they were doubtful. And that 11-day journey took them 40 years. 40. So I'll leave you with two questions today to ask yourself or to ponder. Is that going to be you? Are you going to allow the things that happen to you to weigh you down and to consume you to the point that you are stuck wondering? Or are you going to take the challenge and apply these 4 steps to your life to take you from wondering to wonderful? Thank you. Thank you.